Thank you, Lord Mayor, and thank you for allowing me to make a statement on a matter that is very much in all of our minds at the moment. My Lord Mayor, the world is coming to grips with a pandemic unprecedented in our lifetime. A pandemic that must have felt remote just a few weeks ago, but now which seems and feels all too real nationally and here in Leicester. And I understand that many in this chamber and beyond are fearful and anxious. This evening I want to offer some reassurance to the people of Leicester that their council is doing all it can to help keep people safe and to keep our city running. At what is now our daily briefing, this morning we were informed that there have been 5 confirmed tests for coronavirus in Leicester. However, of course, a note of caution. It's widely accepted that those figures do not represent the true extent of the spread, and that the increase in testing promised over the next few days will obviously have a bearing on these figures. It is, of course, a source of some relief that most recover from COVID-19 fully and recover comparatively quickly. It is a tragedy that some do not. And our duty is now clear. A duty to protect loved ones, to protect neighbours, friends, to protect key workers, and to protect our fellow citizens. As a council, we had plans ready, drawn up by experts from across the organisation, and indeed from those relevant agencies with whom they work so closely. So as a result of that forward planning, we're not now having to waste time creating plans, but can concentrate immediately on implementing them. Needless to say, we have already activated emergency continuity plans. Plans that include the ability to use emergency spending powers under our council constitution to manage and to support our city during this crisis. My colleagues and I receive daily briefings with internal experts and partners who relay information provided by Public Health England and by the government. An emergency control centre is established at City Hall, and our local resilience forum, comprising key agencies, is prioritising health, social care, communications, and community support around self-isolation. We have ongoing discussions with city critical services such as waste to ensure that we can continue to keep our city running. Be assured, our rubbish will continue to be collected and basic services will be maintained. But also be assured that we will continue, as we have already undertaken this week, to brief staff, to brief councillors, to brief the local media, and to let the wider public know what we're doing and how we are doing it. Be in no doubt too that whatever we do will be guided by expert advice and by robust data. It is through these channels that we have already taken a number of decisions, including to close De Montfort Hall for the foreseeable future. We've decided for the moment, at least, to keep our libraries, leisure centres and museums open, although we have cancelled classes and have established deep cleaning schedules. But we have begun urgent planning as to how Leicester will manage the schools closure, including ensuring there is provision for children with care plans and children of key workers. And we have planned how we will and are providing home working facilities for our staff and have made preparations to support our casual workers and those casual workers employed by council-funded organisations. However, my Lord Mayor, there is no point pretending that the Council's responsibility to serve and protect people in the city won't be severely tested. There are going to be some very difficult times ahead. It is already clear that we will need constantly to consider how we deploy staff, how we deploy resources, and how we use our buildings to support the people of Leicester over the coming weeks and months. Our key frontline workers currently support thousands of vulnerable adults and children on a daily basis. There is no doubt that this support will come under enormous pressure. How we continue to support the city's vulnerable people is and must be the City Council's overwhelming priority. My Lord Mayor, I cannot pretend we have all the answers, but I can assure you and colleagues that we are asking the right questions and that whatever we do will be driven by that clear priority to protect the vulnerable in our city. There are some things that I can state tonight. There will be no pursuit of council tax arrears that arise from the COVID-19 crisis. There will be no evictions from our council properties due to a lack of income clearly caused by the COVID-19 crisis. And this is a very significant commitment, I will utilise the uncapped hardship fund for schemes such as discretionary housing support and emergency living grants. These schemes are currently budgeted at £27 million, but I will increase them as necessary. But of course, Lord Mayor, as we're all aware, the challenge to the city is not just down to the council. Our civic partners will also play a huge part. For example, and there are many others, but these are particularly obvious ones, our world-class universities and colleges have expertise, resources and facilities which they are already making available. These will provide significant support to the city. But the city will also need individuals, groups, charities and businesses to pull together. I know they will. We know Leicester, and we know that they are already mobilising into action to support each other. We will coordinate such activity through Voluntary Action Leicester, who've already begun working with the council, and with communities to coordinate this volunteer effort. But I know also that many councillors, both here tonight or isolating at home, are already working hard to help the communities they represent and the communities they serve. That is why I've set up a community mobilisation fund that those councillors will be able to use to harness their skills and to support community initiatives. I've sent out today details of how this scheme will be managed and the sums at this stage made available. But certainly if, as I anticipate, it is well used, there will be more resources if needed. What is required, of course, extends to individuals too. I'm sure I don't need to say this, but of course we ask everyone in Leicester to make safe contact with their neighbours or friends, to offer help where they can, and please also not to remember to ask for help when they themselves need it. We might have to stop seeing each other, but we mustn't stop talking to each other. And in some cases, we must start talking to each other. The neighbour who people might just nod might need our help. The neighbour with whom we might have only shared a good morning may be able to offer help. But obviously, in all of this, I do make a request. We must ensure that we give clear advice that this contact should be safe, at a correct distance, and in a way which reflects the expert advice which we're all being given. And almost finally, my Lord Mayor, I'm sure I speak for other members of the Council when I say to the people of Leicester that they should go to trusted sources for reliable and up-to-date information. And they should help keep themselves and their families safe. And in this context, I'd like to pay tribute to our local news and media, the BBC, in particular Radio Leicester, and of course the Leicester Mercury, who are providing such invaluable counterbalance to the misleading, irresponsible, and occasionally even downright false stories appearing on social media. My Lord Mayor, I will certainly do my best. I know that councillors here and those who are not able to be with us here this evening will do their best, that our dedicated officers will do their best, and that our council will do its best. And I have no doubt, too, that our NHS and our care services will do their best. And before closing, I must take this opportunity to salute the city's dedicated health and social care staff, who will be on the front line dealing with this crisis every day. They are much in our thoughts and deserve our gratitude. My Lord Mayor, I know that in these very difficult circumstances, Leicester will be at its best. And I hope those here, those not with us, and the people of Leicester will be assured that the city will be supported by its council through this very difficult crisis.